Wrestling with God, Jacob's Struggle for Blessing. Written by Prisca J. Okatta. Narrated by Archie. Introduction. The night was dark, and the air thick with anticipation. Under the vast canopy of the heavens, far from the comforts of his past life, Jacob stood on the precipice of an encounter that would change him forever. Far from the familiar smells of his father's tent or the warmth of his mother's embrace, Jacob found himself in the wilderness, alone, afraid, and yearning for a blessing that had eluded him for so long. It was here, in this desolate place, that Jacob would wrestle, not with men, but with God himself. The story of Jacob, one of the central figures in the Old Testament, is a tale of struggle, transformation, and redemption. Born to Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob's life began with deception. Even in the womb, he struggled with his brother Esau, grasping at his heel as if already fighting for the birthright that would give him a privileged place in his family's legacy. This struggle, however, was not just a physical contest between brothers. It marked the beginning of Jacob's lifelong battle for identity, approval, and divine blessing. As a young man, Jacob's story was defined by cunning and deceit. He tricked his father into giving him the blessing meant for Esau, and through clever manipulation, he secured the inheritance that was rightfully his brother's. Yet in the midst of this victory, Jacob found no peace. His relationship with his family was fractured, and his soul was troubled. The blessings he had gained through his schemes felt hollow, and the weight of his deceit hung heavily upon him. Jacob's life took him on a journey that spanned many years filled with hard labor, loneliness, and spiritual seeking. He traveled to Haran to work for his uncle Laban, where he experienced what it meant to be deceived, as Laban tricked him into marrying the wrong daughter. But these experiences were not in vain. They shaped Jacob into a man capable of transformation. He worked tirelessly, learned to be patient, and began to understand the value of honest labor. Yet despite his growth, the longing for God's blessing never faded. This longing would bring Jacob to a pivotal moment in his life, a night of wrestling in the wilderness that would mark the turning point of his spiritual journey. As he was returning to his homeland, he feared the inevitable confrontation with his brother Esau, who, having been wronged by Jacob in the past, might now seek revenge. Jacob, ever the strategist, sent gifts to Esau, hoping to placate him, but it was clear that the past could not be easily erased. He was about to face the consequences of his actions, and the fear of what might happen weighed heavily on his heart.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?